A lot of you knew this already, but it has been proven here at the Permaculture Design course, Day 6. Nick Fouch is a winner.
It's to control my temperature. And I'm putting the cedar all around the pine.
Hello, I'm Nick from Fouch Off-Grid. Here we are at Wheaton Labs. We are on day 6 of our permaculture design course. Today we've had a very special guest named Weiss.
So this is my business. I do contracting and consulting all over the place.
He has worked very closely and has apprenticed with Sepp Holzer, who is one of the leading permaculturists out there in the world.
He's a powerful, relentless, visionary human being.
Sepp and Zach have done a lot of work with water resources and hydrology and how water moves through landscape and how to form the landscape to let your water be used and absorbed well.
Your clay layer, you have your, this is great. This is the level of the earth. This is that clay layer. You're building your dam tied into that clay layer. So I'm doing nothing to seal any of this. And this only works if this layer is impermeable and if it's the right shape and the right kind of valley. But then you get into that situation where you're not just storing the water in the pond itself, you're storing the water in the landscape all around the pond.
That's very important to us on our homestead, so we are very eager to soak up everything that Zach had to offer today.
Today I got revved up. I was pretty tired yesterday, but I did get rested up a bit, and I just love talking about water and soils because these are the things that are going to transform my gardening experience. Right now we can garden on the homestead to the extent that I can capture or carry water, which means that our gardening abilities are limited by my effort. So we have had successful gardens, but we've also had a tired Esther. And the idea of being able to make our landscape absorb or hold more water in the soil is a really exciting thing for me.
So we sat down, Zach gave us a presentation on some projects that he's been involved in.
The water comes through here, it hits this rock and then has to travel around, and then it hits this rock.
Some ideas that have been implemented in projects he's seen, both on Sepp's properties and also some other projects that he's done since then.
Sometimes it's replanting a lot of trees, sometimes it's heavy mulching, sometimes it's just doing a little disturbance and getting some cover crop going, sometimes it's running through a subsoiler like a keyline plow. I'm always looking at the goals of the client, the natural capabilities of the landscape, and the best ways to marry those. So for example, I was just working on a place that's a horse farm in Pennsylvania. So they have these pastures that they don't really want to tree because they want to keep some of them as riding areas. But they have this really degraded pasture that's just been set stocking of the horses. It's super compacted. And so some of my recommendations to them were to run through a subsoiler to actually get that infiltration going down into it, and then also getting in a cover crop, and then also starting to apply some type of holistic animal management, more intense rotational grazing to increase the diversity. I'm not necessarily always doing what I would like to see from an ecological standpoint on the landscape. It has to be something that also fits within their goals and context. Otherwise, the person it's not going to deliver the enhancement in relationship that I'm really looking for.
He gave us some basics about how he judges landscape for water, how he judges soils for how they're going to work to retain or filter water, and all of the different soil types, and how he does that assessment, but then also how he puts those soils into use to manipulate how the land moves and retains or passes water.
What I'm trying to do with my work is enhance the relationship between people and their landscape.
What I appreciate is that Zach is an ecologist.
I did a university degree in ecology, and you learn about all of the issues You don't learn about any of the solutions.
He is working in the field. He's trained with one of the masters, and he's had a lot of successful projects, transforming a landscape just by controlling how water moves through it. So looking at his pictures, the things that he's done, the way that he speaks about it, it just gives me hope that we will be able to be successful on our homestead, and water is a huge part of that. We had a lot of good conversation with him in the classroom.
Exactly.
And then some of the ideas that he was giving us, we had the chance to go out onto part of Wheaton Labs and build some little scale model ponds, a little mini watershed.
Our goals in context are we're working with the climate here, so you're going to have a long summer dry season. You're going to have pretty good seasonal moisture coming through in the winter and in the spring. So then our goals of the client, Paul wants a lot of different artisans in seed and soil. He wants people producing their own food out here. He wants people restoring the watershed. So those are the goals you're trying to accomplish in these little test earthworks.
We divided up into groups. We chose a little chunk of land. Yeah, I mean, it could end up being this whole area. And then started planning how we were going to hold water. See, look at that. To see how that...
Oh yeah.
How that smears. We chose to do as little earthwork as possible relative to the amount of water we were able to hold. So we built a small dam with a spillway far away from the dam, and when we filled that basin up with water, it held a bunch of water. It was a huge reservoir, but with only minimal earthworks. So that was one of the principles that he had reviewed. We didn't get into a whole lot of planning the other parts of this landscape as far as where we're going to garden, where we're going to have our house, where we're going to park our cars. We just tried to make a successful reservoir with a safe spillway, and we pulled it off.
That's fine.
There's a ridge there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some of the events as we poured water on these things turned into 1,000-year events, crazy Noah-type floods, but it was a good exercise to see sort of how water moved through, how you're able to plan your landscape and protect structures, protect other landforms, and control erosion.
But I would actually look at having these terraces flow back this way into that valley and then back down, so that you're keeping the water moving back and forth more.
So Zach set this project up as a competition between groups to just sort of light the fire and get people really active. So the prize, believe it or not, is a little bit of Zach's time to consult on a project. And you guys know we have a project. And so as soon as I knew that was one of the prizes, I thought, I need to get this. I need to get this guy's time. Let's do it, guys.
When I walked over to yours,
Yeah.
I thought, that dam's real nice. He's probably gonna win unless if his dam overflows, and your dam
Right.
didn't overflow.
Oh, it was kind of close though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
In the end, my group, which was an awesome group of people.
You know, I really loved all of them. I hate picking favorites.
Well, don't.
But the big dam over
Ended
there,
up
I'm really
winning the competition.
over there.
Oh, the alligator farm.
Which means that we are about to get a private consultation for our homestead. I feel like we just hit jackpot.
So we're going to be able to sit down with Zach for a little bit of time, looking at a map of our property, talk about our goals and how we can better manage the water on our property.
But it wasn't just luck either, because Nick decided that he wanted this, and when he puts the pressure on, he can make cool things happen. While the rest of the workshop got to go to another location to work on ponds and talk about hydrology, I got to observe some of the preparation of dinner, which is more food preparation with efficient wood burning systems. This is a rocket stove kiln, which is being used today as a smoker. And Ernie Wisner is the creator of this and also describing how it is used, along with the cook, Stuart.
And what it's going to do is humidify and steam cook the meat until, you know, it's kind of like pit cooking, except for I built the pit. What is happening with this is I just started it, and this particular stove needs me to be gentle with it when I start it, because I have to heat this volume up to get that to work properly. And there's a lot of volume in there. So you start it slow, you feed it. I'm putting in a mix of cedar and pine. And I'm putting the cedar all around the pine because I want it to burn at a specific rate and at a specific temperature. So I'm using my wood mix to control my temperature.
You're saying different woods burn at different temperatures?
Yeah. So if I wanted this thing really, really, really hot, and I had locust around, I'd be able to load it with locust. But if I don't want it as hot as locust can get it, which is several thousand degrees in a closed container, I would do locust and maple, or locust and pine, or locust and something else. Cedar burns, this western red cedar burns very quick, and it burns very, very hot.
Okay.
And we don't want it to heat too quickly because we're soaking the mass in the walls with heat. Stick your hand in there. Think that's hot enough to cook?
Yeah, sure. Yes.
So right now, it's not going to get real clean right now, but I have control over that.
Actually going.
That I shouldn't have to adjust it more than maybe a ½ inch. So, see, it's still going the color that I wanted it,
Yes.
even with the lag time. And I'm going to just open that a touch, because it doesn't take much. Now I've got more fuel being burned. So I'm efficiently using the fuel.
Sadie found her way into the kitchen, and bless them, the people of the kitchen put her to work.
Plastic. Out. There, towards you. Pull towards you. There you go.
Oh yeah, took the wrappers off of cabbage.
Is that how you helped in the kitchen? Good job. Can I help
She's
you?
helpful and she's entertaining.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Combination. We'll see you later.
Yeah. Thank you for helping.
Yes, that's my motto.
So, are we still glad we came? Absolutely. This is exactly the kind of information that I was hoping to get out of this. Something that I can latch onto, and that I can go home and not implement blindly, but it'll be a way for us to dramatically improve our homestead. Thanks for watching. Tomorrow is a day off here at the PDC, so we won't be putting out a PDC video tomorrow, but come back a day after that. We'll show you all about day 7. We're going to get heavy into design. We have some other special guests coming next week, so excitement continues.
And you're kind of like this along the creek.
Yeah, exactly. So this face is really pretty steep. Thanks for watching.
Good night, Tubby. Really designed it good.
You think they designed it well?
Yeah, because they put all those tiny rocks in and made it look nice.
It's a tree, isn't it? With a heart, the heart of the tree. And it's got big rocks in it. Should we do something like that on our rocket mass heater?
Yeah.